Hey everyone, you're watching DeFi Talks with DeFi Dad. Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, February 8th, 2022. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to be talking with a really fun project. I've got the co-founders or founding members of LinksDAO. So LinksDAO became a really popular project in the news recently because they launched this really radical idea that you could essentially go out and buy a golf course by using all of the tools available to us through Web3. So I'll let the guys here talk more about that and how that's going to work. But anyways, just an honor to have you guys join me. So I've got Mike Dudas, who again is a founding member of LinksDAO. And then I've also got here Greg Egan, another founding member. So guys, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Really excited to be chatting today.
And yeah, also I've been a big DeFi Dad fan for the past year or so. So I've learned a lot from you during.
Thanks, man.
Crypto education.
We're fanboys. We're fanboys.
Disclosure here too. I hold a membership to LinksDAO, so I ended up buying one because I thought it's such a great demonstration of how you can, of course, bring capital together, coordinate people across the globe. Basically bring everyone together to work on something you believe in. And so a few months back, just some context to this, there was Constitution DAO, which raised, I think, about $40 or $45 million over the course of about 2 weeks. We ended up bidding on a copy of the U.S. Constitution through Sotheby's. Didn't end up working out, but long story short, it got a lot of news headlines, and I thought it was just like a great example to the world of like the good that the crypto community can do when coming together. Fast forward, I think only a few weeks, or not even quite sure here, but LinksDAO ends up launching, and so guys, tell us more about I guess what is LinksDAO? I've sort of alluded to it, but what's the vision? What's the mission behind it?
Absolutely. So I'm glad you mentioned Constitution DAO. It was obviously an inspiration, for the LinksDAO project. So, it's a project that the genesis of it was in middle of December. A group of individuals, was looking at things like Constitution DAO, where you had basically a community that came together towards a common goal. With many, many thousands of people, and raise significant funding towards a common purpose in a relatively short time frame, and just galvanized the imagination, frankly, globally, of folks, and showed the power of a group of Web3 individuals, but crypto friendly individuals, to try to achieve a common objective. In that case, purchase a copy of the Constitution. At the same time, we were seeing, a group of us saw some interesting models emerging around NFTs to enable access to clubs. So Gary Vaynerchuk's Fly Fish Club, a restaurant that's going to exist here in New York, was being launched. Gary had also done VFriends, which gives you access to, I believe, a conference and some other related things. And those aren't the only models, but basically, we looked and we said, hey, why don't we combine those two models, sort of the community aspect and collectively forming a structure to accomplish a common objective, and then enable basically sort of the rulemaking, the voting, and sort of the culture and what this looks like and how it's done via NFT enabled governance. And so LinksDAO was spawned, and basically it was like a tweet that I threw out. I think it was middle of December. That was like, hey, we're gonna buy one of the world's top 100 golf courses. LinksDAO, more to come. And thousands of people retweeted it. We immediately set up a Discord. It was a total mess, and I didn't know the first thing about how to run a Discord. And what was so wildly amazing was literally world-class people came ostensibly, out of nowhere, who had incredible passion for Web3, for crypto, for experimenting, for building in public. And building in public is one of, it can be risky, but these days, frankly, I think it's one of the biggest advantages you can have in the world. And one of the things that's enabled through Web3 is communities building in public. And that's where I'll kick it over to Greg in a second. But people started to sort of observe, get excited about the experiment. And the experiment was, we want to create the world's greatest, we said at the time, golf and leisure club. Okay. So a global brand, a global club that anybody could participate in, that would effectively exist in an area, golf and leisure, that are fun, that people generally love. It's a great game, but it's not been accessible to people historically. It's getting better. There's some great youth initiatives by some of the biggest, companies and celebrities in the world to make it more inclusive, but it's just not today. It's typically still run through this country club ethos and private clubs. And we wanted to bust that open. And we thought, what better, structure to do that through by a community-driven and originated project called LinksDAO. So that was mid-December. By January 1st and 2nd, we had put together technical infrastructure, brought together an incredible community, and conducted an NFT sale that basically resulted in a community of more than 5,300 LinksDAO membership pass holders who are active members, governing and helping us create what we believe will be the world's greatest golf and leisure club. Along the way, very early on, met Greg, and I think the way that I met Greg is instructive of how we met many people who are so critical and core to this project. So I'd love him to tell his story.
Also, before I want to give Greg's background and take on this. Mike, just in case folks aren't familiar with you, can you remind them of all the cool stuff you've worked on in the crypto space? Yeah.
So basically, I'm a professional tweeter. But in addition to that,
dangerous job nowadays.
Currently, I invest in. I'm an early stage crypto investor, so I have a $125 million fund called Six Man Ventures with 3 wonderful partners, and we're investing in very early stage, so sort of Series A and earlier, in token round companies, projects, and protocols building in Web3, gaming and metaverse. We invest in DAOs, and then the tooling and infrastructure that will make these applications easy for the average person to use. It's not easy to use today, and we'll talk about that, in the context of LinksDAO.
Awesome. Yeah, Greg, how did you get involved with LinksDAO? And I actually have never gotten the full story on your background as well.
Yeah, I'll kind of start with some background information on myself, but I am a engineer by trade. Worked at ESPN for quite a few years, working on ESPN.com. Usually working on a lot of exciting sports products. Living up in Bristol, Connecticut. Then a few startups along the way. Was at Airbnb for quite a few years, doing all types of work in kind of the interior design world of Airbnb. And last year, I kind of found myself taking a few months off, trying to figure out what I wanted to do next in my career, and just found myself kind of spending all hours, day and night, just learning about crypto, getting excited again, doing basically just crushing through YouTube videos, watching a lot of your content, actually, kind of learning the technical side of things.
So sorry for that. So sorry I had to do that, but yeah, no, it's a small world. That is, I actually appreciate hearing that. It sort of reinforces like why we do interviews like this. Someone out there who's like a golf fanatic, who's kind of on the tipping point of whether or not to like get into Web3 crypto, they'll see this and they'll say, hey, that guy Greg is like me. I can do this.
Yeah. I mean, so crypto is relatively new to me. I think kind of 9 months ago is when I really started getting into it. And it just was such a rejuvenating experience to start learning again, and getting excited, and, years turn into days in crypto years. Right. So it was really exciting to get back into it. So I am a full-time engineer over at Goldfinch. We're doing decentralized lending, and
very cool.
December 15th rolled around, which was right as we're going on winter break for Goldfinch. And I see a tweet, we're going to buy a golf course, and before this I had, read the books about the founding story of Bandon Dunes, love golfing, and I'm, usually out every weekend. And I saw this tweet after having gone through Constitution DAO as a member. And, cheering at our desks as we're watching the auction come on and not knowing who we're rooting for between, I forget the two names of the bidders.
Yes. Yeah. I thought we won for like a few minutes. And then I was like, wait, I think we lost. And then I spent the next few hours trying to like listen to like different Twitter spaces, one of which was epically wrong. But yeah, it was a great experience because it was exciting to imagine like, wow, we're going to be in control of a copy of the US Constitution. But anyways, back to what you were saying. So you, that was a sort of an inflection point for you, obviously, and thinking what's possible with the DAO.
Yeah, I think Constitution DAO made me realize capital efficiency, kind of the Twitter army, right? $0 marketing spend, essentially zero full-time employees, kind of people just doing this for their passion. And so December 15th, I see Mike's tweet, we are going to buy a golf course. And I jumped in the Discord within the first few minutes of that tweet going out, jumped in and just wanted to find ways to contribute. Found myself being, like I said, right before winter break, and I wasn't traveling home for holidays. So I ended up spending the next 2 weeks just basically doing full-time LinksDAO work, which was really fun and exciting. During that time, it was pure chaos trying to figure out what to do, but it was just so many people going through this chaos together that things just started getting done organically, which was a really, really amazing experience to see. No org structure, no defined roles. We weren't assigning, tasks to anybody. People were just, getting work done. And January 1st rolled around, and it within 24 hours, raised $10.5 million. And I don't know if this is true or not, but that might've been the fastest crowdsourced raise in history. You look at the other crowdsourced platforms of Kickstarter and all the other Web 2 solutions. I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but that's not a fact for sure. I've been just getting involved in kind of all aspects of it, from the technical side to kind of some guidance. And it's been a really amazing experience since then.
Actually, why don't we talk a moment about the NFTs that were sold, why they were sold, like what purpose they have, or what sort of rights someone has by owning one of these. So actually, maybe you guys also too could walk us through, like, there's two different memberships, the global versus leisure. So anyways, how does all of this work?
Yeah, absolutely. So, unlike a lot of projects that you see in the crypto space where governance occurs, via, an ERC20 token or an SPL token, basically a liquid fungible token, we decided that it would make more sense to have governance occur through an NFT. At the beginning, by the way, that wasn't the original idea. And actually the metadata on OpenSea is still outdated and refers to an ERC20 token. But what we, in talking with a number of different folks, learned is NFT enabled governance actually makes sense. So effectively, there are two types of passes. There's the global pass, this black one, and the leisure pass. The global pass gives more governance, right? So you get 4 votes for holding each global pass versus 1 vote for each leisure pass. And additionally, so basically, in addition to the governance, capabilities held within the pass, you also have the right to purchase a membership in the physical club. So leisure members have the right to purchase 1 membership in the club once it exists, whereas global members have the ability to purchase either 2 memberships or a family membership. So, cool. And then beyond that, there are perks and benefits. We have discounts. We have token gated merchandise that's coming, and within each of those benefits that comes, in most cases, the benefits to the global holder will be slightly better than to the leisure holder, but they're going to be fantastic benefits regardless. And that's discounts on golf related things and other things that are relevant to our membership. The reason we chose NFT based governance is just, when you have liquid tokens, we didn't want to set, so the holders, as I mentioned, the holders of the membership passes that you saw, those NFTs, can join the club, right? Those are the members. Right. Ultimately they will be the members if they choose to, purchase a membership in the physical club. We didn't want to separate that out by issuing another token. So let's say you airdropped an ERC20 token called Links, which we were originally contemplating. And surely down the road, there very well may be a purpose for an ERC20 token, and we may down the road, basically distribute one, but there's not a purpose for it now. And we actually thought it would be risky for governance because you could have people sell their token such that the actual membership holder now is separate from the actual ability to govern the club that they're going to be a member of. And again, this is a very early stage project. It's less than 2 months old. We are literally establishing, for example, we're at the point where we're just establishing who are the pod leaders in charge of very critical work streams, things like membership rules, things like community leadership, things like development, marketing, partnerships. So it just didn't make sense to put those governing decisions in the hands of a liquid token holder who might be separate from the pass holder or the member. The other issue is we're a community that's delivering an experience. We're looking for long-term holders and members. We're not looking for speculators. And it's just basically a fact of human psychology that if you have a liquid traded token, people are consistently like looking at the price, and it's like a real-time marker. And we didn't want to attract a speculative crowd into the community because that's literally not the point of it. This isn't financial speculation. This is an actual group of folks that are governing and building, and what we believe will be an incredible project that bridges the real world and the online world together globally.
Greg, anything you want to add to that? I think one thing to point out there is so there's two types of memberships. These are NFTs, but it is the NFT I think most are familiar with is like the one of one. Whereas in this case, you could actually you could sell a global or leisure membership, and there's lots of other global or leisure memberships. So those are fungible or essentially equivalent. But to Mike's point, it's right now it seems it's about having one membership that gives you some voting rights. Obviously, we're at a stage now where I think it's right to say that we haven't properly stood up all of the DAO infrastructure yet, right, guys? There's a transition that will come because right now we're all holding these NFTs, but you could ultimately choose to issue a token. You can start to use things like Snapshot, to do governance votes. Actually, also, I'd love for you to share more about, what sorts of decisions right now do you foresee the community having to weigh in on? Because there is a distinction between founding members or core team members versus sort of everyone else. And I would call out that's a convenience that everyone else enjoys. You have folks like yourselves working on this full time. There's others like myself who simply hold it and I'll talk about it, evangelize it, but I'm not doing day-to-day work to get us to buy a golf course.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So as I look at the landscape of, DAOs, and I'll use it in air quotes, in 2022, early 2022, there are very, very few organizations that I look at and say, hey, that is a decentralized, autonomous, organization, right? And very few of them even that have that structure set up, have, I guess, incorporated as DAOs in Wyoming or in some other country. Legally, it's extremely challenging to set up a, again, a true decentralized autonomous organization. Now, we aspire, by the way, to do that. And that is the plan. And that is in the roadmap. And we plan to have a decentralized autonomous organization in addition to the current structure that we have, which is we have something called, we have a corporate structure, a corporate entity, LinksDAO Inc. When people purchase the NFT, the terms of sale said, look, LinksDAO Inc. is selling you a collectible, this NFT that has these governance rights and these other associated benefits with it. And that's necessary under today's laws. It also, we couldn't sell an interest in the club, for example, right? So, that NFT doesn't give you an ownership interest in the club. because that would be a, an unregistered security sale. So yeah, there's just a bunch of like legal things that every DAO, not just us, sorry, every DAO is dealing with. But I've spoken to dozens of them over the past 2 months now, and I do believe deeply that the spirit and intent of most of these organizations that I've spoken with is pure and is good. And so, for example, we've had the community already vote on material things, such as something where we would donate some of the proceeds from secondary sales, where our first event will be and what the structure of it will be, and presented information on what that would cost, to the membership. In our case, the members can't control the treasury. Otherwise, it would then look like a partnership, which again isn't allowed under US law. So technically the corporation controls the treasury, but it operates with, basically deference and advisory responsibility from how the DAO votes. Okay. So, we're in this in between, and you say yourself, like, we're doing a lot of work. We're trying to bring as many people into this to contribute to that work. And basically we're working in service of this membership. Where the governance rights get really meaningful, though, is as we get into nominating the committees to do the advanced work, now that we sort of have this structure in place. And Greg's been working on that, setting up the tooling such that that can happen, discourse, snapshot. And so it's been exciting to see that happen. And it's really been an on-ramp for thousands of people to just understand how these online communities work, how NFTs can go beyond just being a picture. We know hundreds of people, a third of our user base, and more than that, over 1,000. This is the first NFT they've ever held. And many of them now, know what discourse is and know what snapshot is and have actually voted, right? I mean, it's remarkable and exciting to us.
I've never seen so many people excited about democracy when we put out our first vote that day. But just to follow up on kind of some of the technical aspects, as you were asking about the token and governance side of things. So we are using an ERC 721, as Mike kind of described there earlier, and we're actually doing it a little bit different, where we have token IDs 1 through, I believe, 3,000, give or take, is our globals, and token IDs 3,001 through 10,000, give or take, are the leisures. But we were still able to kind of create a snapshot strategy to allow you to do on-chain governance voting through signing transactions with your ERC 721, which was really great to kind of get out for the community. So like I said, when we first got those first few proposals out, it was really exciting to see the partnerships with Shipsticks, a couple other brands, as well as a donation to Steph Curry's Eat, Learn, Play Foundation charity. So that was a really great moment for the community. And, I think during that time, it was amazing to see how many new people we onboarded to Web3. We were going through education classes, how to use MetaMask, education classes on how to use Snapshot, and kind of people getting involved in these forum discussions. That was really amazing. That, I think we tried to pull the data, and it was a really large number of wallets that this was their first ever time participating in a governance vote. And it was just really energetic to see everybody just so passionate and involved in that process.
Hey, Greg, I'm pulling up this. So this is the LinksDAO snapshot, right? This is just making sure this is correct. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you can see a few of the proposals so far in case anyone's never checked this out. Restore NFTs to victims of fraud, social engineering. Use secondary sale royalties to donate to Steph Curry and Aisha Curry's charity. But by the way, I used to live like 10 minutes from the Warriors Stadium. So as still a Warriors fan that lives on the East Coast, thanks for doing that. We love the Curry family. And also worth noting, Steph Curry ended up buying a LinksDAO NFT.
And his brother.
And his brother did too.
Yeah.
I guess this is maybe a good time then to talk more about what are some of the other milestones recently, and what has to happen behind the scenes in order for, from your guys' vantage, what has to happen in order for LinksDAO to be successful in the coming months?
Yep. So, on the milestone side, some of the partnerships that we've struck that Greg mentioned that give, our users advantageous, for example, pricing on experiences they love with things like 5-iron golf. We have a proposal that isn't quite live yet, but that's going up today around our first event, which will be at South by Southwest, and it'll be for LinksDAO NFT holders. Again, assuming that the proposal passes.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's an opportunity for us to get together and learn as an in real life community about what works, what doesn't, what people like, what they want. And to talk more as we take the next phase. So the next phase is we transition from setting up the community and getting that initial group of holders to really turning into operational phase. Okay. So there's a couple things that we're doing. One is we're going to raise additional capital. So we're beginning a equity fundraise, which will give us capital that will allow us to hire a full-time team on the operation side, the financial side, the marketing, the sales, the engineering, and then ultimately the golf course management and operation side. So these are it's a historically running golf clubs has not been a great business, right? It's a reason why so many of them are private. But the advantage that we have is that we also have this leisure brand, this LinksDAO brand, and this incredible community. And so we also will have other, streams of revenue and business building, including our brand, where we can, you could almost think of it like Bored Ape Yacht Club, and that you have this ability to create a really loyal customer base who loves your brand, loves each other, and loves the common mission. And so this phase for us is now delivering on that in conjunction with the community. So like one big fun thing that's happening with the online portion of the business is that we'll be doing a golf and leisure lifestyle profile pick, NFT sale and drop to existing members, and then bring in some members of the public. That'll be just pure collectible, no sort of member rights to the clubs, things like that. So that's some online fun stuff that we'll be doing to kind of create online community goodness. But the biggest piece is identifying in conjunction with the community the club that we want to purchase as our first one, what that will look like, the style, the location, and then most importantly, the membership rules, pricing tiers, access, different membership types for folks who aren't local. So it gets very, very operational, and we're going to be building in public. So people like you, you're a community member, so you'll have a voice in this, but also observers can just watch. Like, this is so exciting how a startup goes from 0 to 1.
Yeah. So to kind of share like my own experience, I was, watching what you guys did. I missed the initial sale, but one of my colleagues actually at Fourth Revolution Capital, EJ, said that he had gotten an NFT from the sale, and we were just talking about like, this is so much more fun than Constitution DAO. This has all of the same sorts of excitement around it. Like if you if you're looking to build something that is just fun, but using all of the tools available to us through Web3, knowing that like, I don't want to downplay that LinksDAO memberships, just like a lot of NFTs, it is at a price point. Like, I'm not expecting just anyone to be able to afford that. So I acknowledge that, but we're still very early. And what is remarkable is that anyone who's willing to connect, a wallet, a MetaMask wallet, they're able to, instantly decide for themselves without asking permission from anyone, do I want to be a part of this? And that's what's really, remarkable or significant about what you're building. And so anyways, it's nice to see the community sort of rally around something that gets everyone outdoors, and, we can look to hopefully a golf course, or possibly more than one golf course in the
we
future.
think many in the long run. And you mentioned MetaMask, we've mentioned all the tools.
Yeah.
We also want to go beyond. We believe, like in crypto today, for example, Ethereum is one community. I'm really excited. I'd love for us in some of our future, you can imagine if this club does grow, we'd want to your point, allow for perhaps single club entry when we have 10 or 20 clubs, right?
That's right.
And so different price points for future membership passes that hopefully will be lower and more accessible to folks. And I'm almost certain, I don't want to promise it because it's not my unilateral decision, of course, but do things maybe on Solana or maybe on Polygon or other chains, and experiment with that technology for community benefit. We think it's really exciting, and we want this to be a technology learning project as much as it is a brand and community building one.
So what's next then is there is a proposal already for this first event, March 12th through the 13th.
So this is the beauty of DAOs. I actually thought the proposal was live, and then I just looked at the snapshot page, and it's not. I think what it is with all of our proposals, we like to have a 24-hour period for comment and discourse. So we put that live after Twitter Spaces that we did last night. After I think it was actually 18 hours. So I think as of 3 or 4 o'clock, it could have been somebody's turning it into a proposal now. That proposal will then run for 24 hours. If it passes, we will host our first event in real life in Atlanta at in Austin at South by Southwest.
I'll be jumping on Snapshot in the next couple hours and getting that live for the community to vote on. So I would say if you're on the East Coast, tune in the next 2 to 3 hours and check the Discord out, and you'll see the announcement come through.
Guys, one last thing I left out. Did you want to share some of the partnerships you've already established? Because I know there were some big names that you're working with, or at least I know that there's like ongoing talks based on what's been shared in the Discord. But yeah, who in the legacy world of golf has been interested in what you're building through LinksDAO?
Yeah, virtually everyone has been interested, either directly has told us and we've contacted and spoken with them, or we've heard through the grapevine. But companies that we've spoken with include Topgolf, include Callaway, all the way up to very senior levels, which again doesn't mean that we have a partnership with any of them or that they've committed. But the beauty of it is like we've really what I believe is we've triggered their imagination in many ways, and so we have a real opportunity here to do meaningful things for the game of golf. In addition, many of the largest golf course operators, so Troon, Club Corp, and others. Club Corp, is owned by Apollo private equity firm. Really large, fantastic organizations have reached out to talk about how they can work with us. Obviously, they have some courses that they might like us to look at. So it's an exciting place to be in for us as a community, and LinksDAO as a corporate entity and as a community.
And we have 4 partnerships to date that are in effect. The first one being 5 Iron Golf, which is a simulator network throughout the East Coast. I believe there's a bunch in New York, Philly, Baltimore, Boston. Another one being Shipsticks for 20% off discount to ship your clubs. And then there is one more golf bag brand, which is called Minimal Golf for free monogramming. And the last one being Devereaux Threads, which is kind of a clothing brand. And I think this is just the start of figuring out ways to give our benefits, our community benefits in the meantime, while we're trying to get to the true goal of kind of golf course, having a golf course.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, golf was huge for me, but I think I was lucky to grow up revering the likes of Tiger Woods, and that was such like an exciting period of growth, I think, in interest in golf. But I do acknowledge, like, over the last several years, it felt like there had interest in golf was waning. And I think one of the interesting things about the pandemic is it got people thinking about getting outdoors again because of all of the social distancing, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, God, this is just so much fun. Like I grew up playing baseball and basketball. I can't play those at the same level anymore. I can't play baseball at all at that level. And basketball is kind of pathetic if you watch me play basketball with a bunch of friends. But golf, which I'm notably terrible at, I can at least, feel like I'm playing that competitively. And so it's just a really fun sport. And it's great to see, again, a Web3 mission using Web3 tools to apply to a very, I'll say like old, antiquated, business model. So anyways, guys, anything else you wanted to share before we go? I really appreciate you taking the time to, walk us through all the exciting developments with LinksDAO.
I think one thought from me is, I continue to hear people ask me, how do I get involved, whether it's with LinksDAO or DAOs in general. Usually it's like, well, I'm not an engineer. What can I do? And I will say that it's been amazing to see such a wide array of skill sets come together at LinksDAO, between community managers to partnerships to PMs to project managers to designers, engineers, data teams. Like it's been really fascinating. And I would say if you are somebody interested in getting involved with DAOs, whether it's LinksDAO or something else, there's roles for you to get involved in Web3. Every DAO is kind of in this position where, they need executors and operators, and, all skill sets across the board are needed. And I would say, like, if that's something that you want, just hop in and get involved. And that's kind of the steps I did, where just like start figuring out how you can contribute in ways, whether that's through time or expertise or deliverables, or just getting involved with the community. If you just want to, find a good group of people you enjoy. So
Yeah.
DAOs is something new to me. It's new to everybody, but it's been really amazing. It's only been 8 weeks or so far, if that. But yeah, I would say encourage everybody to kind of continue to find an opportunity to get involved with DAOs.
Awesome. Well, reminder to everyone too, if you're interested to get involved in LinksDAO, you can follow LinksDAO here on Twitter. Make sure you follow Mike and Greg as well. Most importantly, go to linksdao.io and you'll find the Discord link there, which there's just so much going on in the Discord. And then just quick reminder, if you enjoyed this, subscribe at DeFiDad.com. And if you're building the next great Web3 project, if you're building a project as cool as LinksDAO, please reach out to me and my team at fourthrevolution.capital. We'd love to partner with you. And also you should reach out to Six Man Ventures, Mike's crew there. They do great work as well. And
yeah, and we love investing with them. We love investing with DeFi Dad. I mean,
yeah. That's we're all finding just the market's been a little frothy, but
yeah, exactly. And then Greg
Greg
wants to angel invest in everything as a wonderful engineering supporter. So really appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much. I'm going to just end the broadcast. We'll be in a green room here in a second. Bye, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks.